Shalom, Kol Halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakat Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us His truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yashawan back with the World War III Daily Update. All right. Shout out to Secret Files 333. All right. And we'll get right into it. Jeremiah 25 and 30. This is the time we're in right now. We're in the time of great judgment. God is about to judge the earth. All right. For all of the things that these nations did to his chosen people, the nation of Israel, the true Israelites, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, all right? The ones that went into slavery and were hung and limbs cut off and alligator bait. We could go right down the line. All of those things must be recompensed for, all right? That's what World War III is about, all right? So we'll start at 30. This is Jeremiah 25 and 30, and we'll explain what's going on in World War III and why. Why World War III? Well, the answer to why World War III starts with this word, God. Or you could say his name, Yahweh, okay, is about to bring judgment, meaning there's a trial going on right now. And in the trial, somebody is going to be found guilty, and then you get to the punishment phase. Here's what's going on, okay? Jeremiah 25 and 30. Therefore prophesy thou. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm prophesying, I'm telling you what is about to happen. That's what prophecy pro, meaning before, phasis, meaning to say. So we're saying this before it happens. How are we able to do that? Because we know what these words mean. All right? The Bible said that we were going to come out here and do what Noah did. Okay, Noah was a prophet. Jeremiah was a prophet. Okay? Moses was a prophet. All right? And that's what we're doing. We're doing the job that we've been given. And that's what we did in the days before. All right? The spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets. All right? Therefore prophesy thou, that's what we're doing, against them all these words. What am I doing right now? Telling you what is about to happen and why. Okay? And say unto them, say unto who? Whoever's listening. Number one, my people, the children of Israel, and then the other nations. The Lord shall roar from on high. Okay? He's up there, and the angels, and they have weapons. They have battleships. Okay? They have war chariots. And they're up there. And their weaponry can't be touched, can't be seen. If they want to disappear, they can disappear. All right? If they want to go from the third dimension into the fourth, they can do that. If they want to disintegrate you with lasers instantly, they can do that. We're talking about God here. Okay? And you don't have to believe, but with your very own eyes, if you don't die first, you're going to see it go down. All right? That's what this book is about. The Lord shall roar from on high. You're going to be scared as shitless too. Oh, God doesn't exist. You're going to shit on yourself in that day. And utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. That's his people. He shall give a shout. That shout, what comes out of his mouth is lasers. Okay? As they that tread the grapes. Against all the inhabitants of the earth. When you hear the word heathens, it's talking about all the other nations other than the children of Israel. Okay? You got God's chosen, the nation of Israel. Then you have the heathen, which is another word for the other nations. Okay? All right. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. See, the men of the Lord, we know how to read this and we know what it means. You know what this is talking about? A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. It's talking about a nuclear missile. All right? Why? For the Lord, Yahweh, hath a controversy with who? The heathen, the other nations. Why? Because of what you did to his people. You came together in a conspiracy to try to eliminate them from the earth. That's why nobody knows that the ones you called nigger, the Spics, the Tontos, what happened to the American Indians? They were all but exterminated because God didn't let you completely exterminate. What happened to the Negroes, the ones you call African Americans? Right? What about the Mexicans, the South Americans, the indigenous Indios? Was not their land stolen from them, and they were frog marched into slavery and murdered and smallpox blamed? We could do this all day. Oh, well, that was a long time ago. One day is equivalent to 1,000 years to God. So if you think that he's forgotten about what happened 2 days ago, you're sadly mistaken. You have to pay for that. Okay? God has a controversy with all the nations. He will plead with all flesh. What does that mean, he will plead with all flesh? Okay? He will bring judgment on all mankind and put the wicked to the sword. What is the sword? In this case, it's talking about them nuclear missiles. All right, who's the wicked? The nation of Edom. See, we know how to read this. We could go back and show you exactly what all of these words go back to. It's a code. All right? God will bring judgment on all mankind and put the wicked to the sword. Who's the wicked? That's Esau, Edom, the Edomites. Okay? He will judge all the people of the earth, slaughtering the wicked with the sword. Who's the wicked? Starting with the children of Edom, the tabernacles of Edom. He is entering into judgment with all flesh. All right? He will plead with all flesh. What does it mean to plead with them? Bring judgment. He will plead his case. What case? We're in trial here. We're in the courtroom. Who's the judge? He brings judgment. Who? Who's he? Who's the judge? He is. God is the judge. And all these fucking kangaroo courts, and I've been in every one of them for the last 4 years, and you got nothing but devils in there, and they hopping around like fucking kangaroos in Australia. Why did I have to go through all of that? Because you're being set up for your judgment. Okay? You can't tell the truth. You don't go by the laws that are in the Bible. You go by your own penal code, which only is written for you. All right? And you're gonna be in the real courtroom here in a minute. And we're gonna see who the judge is. We're gonna see who the counselors or the lawyers are. All right? He is entering into judgment with humanity. As for the wicked, you Edomites, he has turned them over to the sword. Right? Let me get that. Deuteronomy 32 and 41. If I whet my glittering sword, what is a glittering sword? That's that nuclear missile. And mine hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies, who are God's enemies, and will reward them that hate me. Who are God's enemies? Okay? We'll get to it. Isaiah 34:5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. This is talking about in the sky. Okay. Indeed, it shall come down on who? Who's Edom? My what? My sword will come down on Edom, the Edomites, his main enemy, and on the people of my curse for judgment. Who's that? That's the Edomites. Okay. You got different levels of heaven. One of them is the sky. All right. For my sword has drunk its fill in the sky. Drunk its fill in the sky. Why does it say that? Because the men of the Lord understand what these words mean. Okay? Just like the war in heaven. Okay? And there was a war in heaven, right? You think it's talking about where the Most High lives. It's not talking about that. And there was a war in heaven. What does that mean? It means this. It means this. Here's the war in heaven right here. No, it hasn't happened yet. All right? A war against these guys, against these guys. And this is heaven. You got heaven on earth. You got heaven in the sky. You got heaven in the fourth dimension. You got heaven in outer space. The men of the Lord, we know how to read it. And there was a war in heaven, right? There was a war in the sky. Michael and his angels. This is Michael and his angels right here. All right? This is Michael and his angels. And these are Satan and his blue angels. Right? We know how to read these words and break them down and interpret them. The true interpretation. There was a war in heaven, meaning the sky. The UFOs fought against Satan, right? And his blue angels. This is Satan and his blue angels. Okay? This is God, Yahweh Shai, who you ignorantly call Jesus, and the angels of God. All right? Okay? The clouds. Jesus is coming back in the clouds of heaven. Same way he left. All right? The dragon. You said the devil. I did say the devil. Let's finish it. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. They got shot right out of the sky. The International Space Station got shot right out of the sky. The satellites, your Sputnik or whatever you achieved, got shot right out of the sky. And the great dragon, what great dragon? The great dragon was cast out. That's one. That old serpent, two, called the devil, three, and four. Which deceiveth the whole world. How did he do that? How did he deceive the whole world? Here's how he deceived the whole world. What's this name right here? Well, that's this guy's name. This is not Jesus. This is not Yahweh Shai. This is Cesare Borgia. All these depictions. When you type in this name into a search, this picture comes up all day. Well, this is how the world was deceived. Who's this? It's not what he looks like. When you call Jesus Christ as a so-called black man, today you would call him an African American. Looks just like his daddy, okay? God looks just like his son Jesus, and that ain't him. Try again, all right? This is what World War III is about. World War III is about this bullshit right here. You think Jesus ain't mad for these lies? You think God ain't mad? Whoever did this got to pay. You understand? Satan, the devil, the word devil means deceiver. Who deceived the whole world? The devil did. He's the great deceiver. He's the adversary. He's that old serpent, that snake. He's the great dragon. Okay? And God gave him the blueprints to make the stealth bomber. Why? So he could take your ass right out of the air. How do we know who's going to win the fight? Well, it says right here, and prevailed not. He said, and the dragon fought and his angels, and here's who won, and prevailed not. And he was cast out. Him and his angels got blasted out of the sky. This is what it means. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast. They got shot right down out of the sky by some lasers. And your little International Space Station, all of that shit, right? Neither, where's that at? Neither was their place found anymore in heaven. Where's their place in heaven? The ISS, your satellite systems, your Star Wars, okay? Your refueling jets. All right? That's what that's talking about. Heaven, in this case, is talking about the sky. And here's how you bring it together. All right? This is the culmination of World War III, right here. All right? Now let's get it. Let's get it in Joel. Because this is an ambush. World War III is an ambush being set up. Just like this ambush right here. All right? How did God destroy Egypt? He set up an ambush. All right, you see this? Uh-oh. What's that doing there? How was the Red Sea parted? Uh-oh. What's that? Was that there during the parting of the Red Sea? Absolutely it was. You got Moses, right? You got Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. He was there in one of these. Shall we prove it? That's easy. Okay. Exodus 13 and 21. And the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and night. There's the pillar of cloud and the pillar of fire. Exodus 14:19. And the angel of God which went before the camp of Israel removed and went behind them, and the pillar of cloud, same thing, went from before their face and stood behind them. What? This cloud did what? Not this cloud, this cloud. Okay? Over here, the cloaking device is up, see? Right here, he's uncloaked. See what this cloud does. Okay? What was it? 19. Let's go to 20. We'll read 19 again. And the angel of God, okay, which is the cloud, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. Now it's going to call it a pillar. And the pillar of cloud, same thing, went from before their face and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel. And it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these, so that one came not near the other all night. Okay? This thing was there. In Cecil B. DeMille's great epic, The Ten Commandments, they showed it as a swirling fire. A pillar of what by night? A what? In Cecil B. DeMille, it was a great big swirling fire. And a pillar of fire to give them light by night. And by night, in a pillar of fire. That's what they showed you in the Ten Commandments when Moses had the children of Israel out in the desert before they parted the Red Sea. What happened? A big old swirling fire went and held off the Egyptians. The Red Sea parted. The Israelites went across. And then the fire stopped, let them go into the ambush. Okay? The Israelites go across, they make it across, and then Pharaoh and his chariots and the Egyptians get into the strike zone, and what happens? The ambush is perfect. Right? Well, that's the same thing that's about to happen in World War III. This is how the Most High is the king of all war. He is the king of wars. He created war. He's a man of war. Look at that. Yahweh, the Lord Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. He's what? A man of war. He's a warrior. The greatest warrior ever. He created the whole thing. A man of battle. Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. Look at the ambush. I, who's I? That's God. Okay. The Lord judges the nations. I will gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Why? Because I'm setting them up in an ambush. I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Jehoshaphat. There will I judge them for harming my people, my special possession, for scattering my people among the nations and dividing up my land. Okay. I will gather all nations, all the armies of the world, and bring them down into the Middle East, where I will slaughter them for what they did to my people. I will plead. I will enter into judgment. Enter into judgment. There I will deal with them. I'm going to deal with them. What does that mean in the street? I'm finna deal with you. Okay? You got the judgment and you got the punishment. What is the punishment? And I shall judge them there for the sake of my people. Plead with them. I will bring charges against those nations. They divided up my land. Who's over there fighting over our land right now? You got two people over there. You got people calling themselves Africans, which are the Philistines, which today you call them the Palestinians. All right? And they're not the Philistines. They're not the Palestinians. Those are Arabs, sons of Ishmael. And then you got people over there calling themselves us, with the greatest case of stolen identity ever in the world. Okay? And those are Edomites. I will plead with them. I will plead. I will judge them for all they have done to my people. Well, what did you do? All right? I will set out my case. We're in the courtroom here. Against them there on behalf of my people. What happens after you're found guilty? You get the cufflinks slapped on you. You get taken to the cell. And then you put that hammer in your hand where you go to work for a long time breaking rocks. Okay? If you don't get hung. Right? That's what they did to us. I will execute judgment. Okay? What'd you do to my people? What happened to my people? Here's God's people right here. What'd you do? What'd you do? To be sold on board the ship. Okay? Slaves. All right? Hey, we got records of it. Bet you wish you could do away with it. Bet you wish you weren't proud enough to. What'd you do to my people? This. What's this? What happened here? Look how proud. Look at how proud. Can you make this bigger? They don't want me to make it bigger. Look how proud these people are. Look. Hey, got that nigger good. All right. What did you do? Look at this. Hey, picnic. Let's go pick a nigger. Hey, do you think the word picnic means? Well, this is a picnic. Look how proud. What would you do to God's chosen people? This is what World War III is about. It's about God taking his people out of slavery and restoring them to the glory that they were created for as God's chosen. Look at this. Look at that. You see this? You see that? Look at that. We got the proof. Right? And it is what it is. Okay? Let's get the New Living Translation. At that time, Joel 3:1, at the time of those events, saith the Lord, I will restore the prosperity of Judah. Who's Judah? This is Judah hanging from the tree. Here's the Jews. Here's the Jews right here on the slave auction. These are the Jews. Okay? I will restore the prosperity of Judah and Jerusalem. I will gather the armies of the world into the Middle East. There will I judge them for what? Harming my people. Okay? What they do? They harmed God's people. You bring it to life and it doesn't mean that. Let's go further. They threw dice to decide which of my people would be their slaves. They traded boys to obtain prostitutes. They sold girls for enough wine to get drunk. It doesn't mean that. Yeah, you better wish that it didn't mean that, but guess what? Guess what? The jig is up. Okay, this is what World War III is about. Let's go back here. I will gather all the armies of the world into the Middle East. Okay, now we can go to Secret Files. What's going on? 6 hours ago. Let's get a refresh. 6 hours. Okay. The Allies are coming together. China, Russia. They're fighting over the land of Afghanistan here. 15 hours ago, rockets fired towards Afghanistan Kabul airport. They're fighting over that land. That's in the Middle East, ain't it? Russia preparing, this is what I want right here. Let's watch this. Russia preparing a Taliban invasion, sending 800 troops to the border. What we're looking at here is God gathering the armies of the world into the Middle East. Why? So that he can ambush them. He's going to ambush them. All right? I did want to watch this. Not that. Watch this.
Russia is training a Taliban invasion, sending 800 troops to the border. About 300 Russian troops and more than 60 pieces of equipment have been transferred to Kyrgyzstan for CSTO Rubesh 2021 maneuvers, the Central Military District, CMD, said on Monday. Up to 300 servicemen and more than 60 pieces of equipment will be attracted by the Russian contingent, the statement said. The maneuvers in Kyrgyzstan will take place against the backdrop of the escalating situation in Afghanistan, where the Taliban movement has come to power.
Gathering the troops into the Middle East. Thank you, Secret Files 333.
Russia has sent troops from a mountain motorized rifle brigade from Tuva to Kyrgyzstan for training, the military said. Military contingents from the Kyrgyz Republic, Kazakhstan, and Tajikistan will take part in the exercise, the Central Military District's press service said.
But wait, isn't America going to come back and get right back in? Well, we're leaving, but we're coming back. We'll get you. We'll track you down.
During the exercise, Russian servicemen will develop the preparation and conduct of a joint military operation to block and destroy conditional illegal armed groups that have...
What does joint military operation mean? We and our allies, China, Iran, whoever just ran to us for protection, so that we may be a guard unto them.
Territory of a member state of the Collective Security Treaty Organization, the Central Military District said. The commander of the Central Military District, Colonel General Alexander Lapin, announced earlier that during the summer training period, 9 joint international exercises will be held in Russia, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan.
Oh, wait. Is that the Middle East I see right there? Wait a minute. All of this is what they call the Middle East. Or the Valley of Jehoshaphat in the Bible. Is this not the Middle East? Got Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Turkey, Syria, Israel, Jordan, Saudi, Yemen. This is all what they call the Middle East. Israel isn't in Africa. It's in the Middle East. No. Okay, well, let's call it the Middle East. Because the Valley of Jehoshaphat is right here. Yehoshaphat. Here's where God is going to judge all the armies. What is he going to do? He's going to bring them over here. Then what? Well, let's see what the Bible says. All right, thank you. Secret Files 333. Russia preparing a Taliban invasion, sending 800 troops to the border. God is gathering. I will gather the armies of the world into the Valley of Jehoshaphat, into the Middle East. We see it going down. Why? There will I judge them for harming my people. Well, let's see it. See it in the scriptures here. 2nd Ezra 13. Start at 1. Okay. Here comes Jesus. And it came to pass, after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man, what man? That man. When you call Jesus, his name is Yahushua. He, the Savior. Waxed strong. What does it mean, wax strong? He was waxing this strong. He was waxing this strong right here. Stronger than this. Who did he wax strong with? He waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Well, who's the thousands of heaven? Here's the thousands of heaven right here. The angels. So Jesus was with the angels. And when he turned his countenance to look, his countenance is his face, to look, all things trembled that were seen of. They were scared as hell when they seen this. Okay? They're not showing you the weapon systems that they have. Okay? When he turned, they were like, oh shit. There's a video, right? Where is it? Should I get it? There's a video. Look at that thing. It's rotating. Right? Remember that? It's rotating. Pentagon. Where's YouTube? Give me a YouTube. Is this YouTube? That's my studio. Let me see what I can get here. Pentagon. Bear with me. Pentagon UFO. What comes up? No, not there. Let's search on my channel. Let's go here. Pentagon. UFO. What are the UFOs? Look at that thing, it's rotating. Okay, Dennis Rodman. Come on, come on, come on. Folly and distraction. Bread and circuses.
Report that the government cannot explain those mysterious objects caught on video by the military. From an upside-down pyramid-like object hovering above a Navy destroyer to cylindrical spheres.
This is the war in heaven right here. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. See, the dragon got him in the crosshairs right now, but this thing is like this. You see this little box? That means if you can lock it on target, that means he can fire a missile and possibly hit it. Well, you can't hit the chariots. First of all, they're like this. This is why what they call a UFO, it goes like this. You can't lock on it. And even if you did, by the time that raggedy missile got there, the UFO will be behind you, ready to laser your
Disappearing into the ocean.
Splashed. Mark bearing and range.
To video allegedly showing one of the U.S. Navy's stealth ships tracking an unidentified object in the sky.
138 knots. Holy fast.
Now, ahead of the release of a declassified Pentagon report, the New York Times says these papers do little to clarify what the videos show. The New York Times reporting that intelligence officials are worried the videos show America's adversaries may be racing ahead of the U.S. in developing elite weapons technology. Senior officials expressing concern to the paper about China or Russia possibly experimenting with hypersonic technology, aircraft and missiles that can reach speeds as high as 4,000 miles per hour. According to the Times, the report, scheduled to be released by June 25th, clarifies that most of the more than 120 incidents over the past 2 decades are validity of the videos. They still cannot explain what their cameras and sensors have been picking up. The Pentagon declined NBC News' request for comment. Jeremy Corbell is the man who released many of these leaked videos.
There's a lot of pressure by the global public and the American public, for answers.
Yeah, and we're giving them to you right here. What did we just watch? Ooh. Let's see. This one.
My gosh. We're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Oh, thing, dude.
See it rotating? Did you see that rotation? They're not saying it. I'm trying to get them saying it.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the asset.
There's a whole fleet of them. The thousands of heaven.
My gosh. We're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Oh, thing, dude.
This isn't it. I'm going to find it. Bear with me. This one? It's lock in. Bear with me. I'm having a little fun. Fuck ludicrous. Monkey.
Night vision video from a Navy destroyer, a mysterious flying triangle above the deck. Top former intelligence officials have been raising eyebrows.
Look at that thing. It's rotating.
It's rotating. That's what I wanted. Okay? What is that? What do you mean it's rotating? And when he turned his countenance to look, That's what it's doing. What is it? It's rotating. He's turning his countenance to look. What does it say after that? And when he was
raising eyebrows.
Look at that thing. It's rotating.
Former CIA Director R.J.
Look at that thing, it's rotating. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled. They're trembling in their boots. They're saying, we can't compete with that. All things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, what's that? That's the weapon systems of these things. They haven't shot back at the devil yet. But when they do, can you imagine? Well, let's read about it. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, this is talking about a laser, all they burned that heard his voice. Does that make sense? How does somebody's voice make you burn? When it's a laser beam. Like as the earth faileth when it filleth what? The fire. A laser is concentrated fire. Okay? And after this I beheld, and lo, World War III was going on. There was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Now what this says right here is all the armies of the world, right, are going to be fighting against each other. And in that moment, when they see this happen, lo, look, that man waxed strong with them. When they see the angels of heaven appear in those chariots, everybody is going to be, wait a minute, stop World War III for a minute. We have bigger fish to fry. And they're going to try to fight against Jesus Christ, the one you call Jesus Christ. They're going to try to fight against him and the angels. Okay? It says there was gathered together a multitude of men. Wait a minute. I will gather all the armies of the world. Who's doing the gathering? God. Well, right here. There was gathered. Who gathered them? God did. A multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven. Why are they gathered together? To subdue the man. What man? This man. One you call Jesus. That man that was waxing strong. Here's how you put it together. Okay? This man. This guy. Right? With the thousands of heaven. So, World War III is going to stop. What do you mean about this good stuff? How do you know? Because I'm going to show you. Lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the men that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, but I saw, and look, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. Flew up upon it. He did what? He was riding in a great big huge UFO. He had graved himself a great mountain. I thought I had that. Wikipedia, she'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. Background, the original song was published in old plantation hymns where them old African Americans were singing about getting free one day. What were they singing about? It ostensibly refers to the second coming of Christ and subsequent rapture. With the she, she'll be coming. Who's she? Was she referring to the chariot that the returning Christ is depicted as driving? What chariot? This chariot. She'll be coming round the mountain. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, the one that she'll be coming around, the mountain, and flew up upon it. He was driving that mountain. Just like it says in that old Negro spiritual, with the she referring to the chariot, right? That the returning Christ is depicted as driving. Okay? So during World War III, it's going to be interrupted by the chariots, by the angels. They're going to stop fighting each other for a minute. Okay? And they're going to come together to fight against the chariots, the angels, and the one whose name is Yahweh Shai. Mm-hmm. But I would have seen the region or the place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not, meaning it wasn't a mountain. It just looked like one. It was so big. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid. They were scared as hell. But they fought on anyway. Okay? And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, what's his mouth? As it had been a blast of fire, he had a laser beams, and out of his lips a flaming breath. He had weapons that we couldn't, who is this, John? Oh, this is Ezra. Ezra's trying to explain what he saw. And out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. And they were all mixed together. The blast of fire, the flaming breath, the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was left to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. So that contingent, all the armies of the world, of the earth, were suddenly burned up, and burned them up, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one. And that was the end of World War III. Okay? All right? This is 2nd Ezra's 13 and 33. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle. This is World War III. They're going to leave the battle they have won against another. They're going to be fighting each other, right? See, the Bible it skips around. You got to know where it's at. And when all the people hear his voice, they're going to see them lasers. They're like, oh, shit. Every man shall in their own land, meaning their own nation, okay? They're going to be in the valley of Jehoshaphat in the Middle East. They're going to stop fighting each other, right? And then they're going to come together as one. They're going to stop. They're going to let go of all the operations they have against each other. They say, we got bigger fish to fry. An innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. And they're going to get that ass whooped going back up here. And burn them up, everyone. All right? So this is an ambush. I will gather all the armies of the world into the Middle East. Why? Okay, let's see why. Start at 9 right here. This is God. Say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war. Call out your best warriors. Let all your fighting men advance for the attack. Here's what he's saying. Bring them right over here. I got this. Bring them into this. I'm setting you up. Say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war. Call out your best warriors. Let all your fighting men advance for the attack. Hammer your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Train even your weaklings to be warriors. Come quickly, all you nations everywhere. Gather together in the valley. What valley? In the Middle East. Right? Let the nations be called to arms. Let them march to the valley of Jehoshaphat. There I, the Lord, will sit to pronounce judgment on them all. What am I looking for? Thither cause your mighty ones to come down. Right here. Come quickly, all you nations everywhere. Gather together in the valley. And now, O Lord, call out your warriors. Who are God's warriors? Well, there's one. They're right here. Here are God's warriors. So, if you can see what's being said here, all right? He's saying, get ready for war. Call out your best warriors. Let them all come down, right? Come together in the valley. I'm gathering you. And now, out of nowhere, the ambush. Okay, let's get it in, what is it? Not NIV. New Living, what is it? Let's see. Let's go here real quick. NLT. Let's get it in NLT. It says, say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war, call out your best warriors, let all your fighting men advance for the attack, hammer your plowshares into swords, pruning hooks into spears, train even your weaklings to be warriors. Come quickly, all you nations everywhere, gather into the valley. Now, O Lord, call out your warriors. What does that mean? Bring down your warriors, O Lord. Call out your warriors. Bring down your warriors, O Lord. Your mighty ones. Bring down your mighty ones. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. So while they're over there fighting, out of nowhere, here's the ambush. And you can't deal with this. You can't deal with it.
Woolsey said he knew of a case where a plane was paused in midair.
A friend of mine was able to have his aircraft stop at 40,000 feet or so and not continue operating as a normal aircraft. What was going on?
In December, ex-CIA Director John Brennan said it was arrogant to believe there are no other forms of life other than the ones on Earth. And former intelligence chief John Ratcliffe says officials have been tracking technology beyond our capabilities.
We're talking about
beyond our capabilities. If we tried to engage them, what would happen?
objects picked up by satellite imagery that are difficult to explain.
Like another incident off the coast of
Blue Angels. Satan's Blue Angel.
California in 2004 when a fighter squadron encountered an object that
A fighter squadron that has no chance in hell at going up against God.
seemed to defy gravity.
What do you think it is?
I honestly don't know. I don't think that we have developed that technology. I don't think we developed it on this planet.
Video from that encounter
See how proud this devil is to even say that?
2 other incidents were officially released by the Pentagon last year. Now new sign.
Oh, we locked in. Shoot your little missile, which will take an eon to get there. And that guy will be right behind you, lighting you up.
The Pentagon could declassify more sightings of what they can't explain.
And guys, now here's the thing about those last 3 F-18 videos. I recently asked the former director of the Advanced Aerial Threat Identification Program at the Pentagon, point blank, are those the only videos that the government has? He said no, those were probably the least compelling videos. And in some videos, you see an object about 50 feet away from the cockpit.
This is all bullshit. Chariots of Israel go all the way back to the beginning. Okay, let's show you that. Let's get in the beginning and then we'll go ahead and close out. Sorry about taking so long. Genesis. One. Let's show you. I'm going to quickly show you, and then you go do your own research. Genesis 1. Let's go to the Bible. In the beginning, the gods. All right. In the beginning, the gods. This word is plural. Elohim, or Elohim. It's plural, right? In the beginning, the gods, Yahweh in the holy hosts, created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep. And what does this say? And the Spirit of God was what? It was doing what? It was hovering. In the beginning, God was hovering over the waters. What's he doing right here? He's hovering over the waters. All right, so that's enough. Call halal Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, I hope that the elect were edified, and with that, we're going to say shalom. See you tomorrow.